This is Celebration TV. Revealing Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV.
To 15.7 trillion naira by the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikule Amosu.
Welcome to Celebration Television News Desk. I am Nicholas Akosile Walter. Here are the news making the headlines. Barriers to impact. For every great dove, there's a great adversary, by Apostle Johnson Suleiman. Libyan rivals agree to appoint head of key government agencies. Mexican President Lopez Obrador tests positive for COVID-19. China takes new foreign investment, top sport from United States. And Southampton dump holders Arsenal out of FA Cup. Please stay with us as we'll bring you details of our news after this short break. Welcome back and thanks for joining us once more. Now the news in full. Barriers to impact. For every great dove, there is a great adversary, says Apostle Johnson Suleiman. Omega Fire Ministries adopted the theme of a year by the Apostle. Preservation and generational impact seems to be making wave all over the world, especially by the pattern of message. The theme has bettered lessons for every area of life, not excluding Sunday 24 January message titled Barriers to Impact. The Apostle further stated that impact is very possible, and this shows that making impact in life should be traded for nothing, as there are barriers to making impacts in life. Giving a deep explanation of barrier, he mentioned that there are kinds of barriers which are self-inflicted, foundational and circumstantial barriers. This further buttresses his submission that for every great there is a great adversary. When a barrier is not handled, evil triumphs.
What are barriers? Barriers are resistance to progression. Hindrances. Resistance to progression. Hindrances to advancement. Punctuation to manifestations. Barriers only come. As a matter of fact, barriers are a proof that there is something good on the other side. If there is nothing good on the other side, there will be no barrier. Am I talking to somebody here? Paul was speaking 1 Thessalonians 2:18. He said, I would have come to you many times, but Satan hindered me. Why did the devil hinder him? Because the devil knows he was coming with something. In Romans 15 verse 22, he said, I would have come again, but I was hindered. In 1 Corinthians 16:9, he said, a great door and effectual have been opened unto me, but there are many adversaries. For every great door, there is a great adversary. For every great man, there is a gate man. Barriers are barriers in disguise. Barriers are barrier. A barrier is a barrier in disguise. When a barrier is not handled, extinction is possible.
Moving forward, the apostle mentioned that one of the barriers to impact is wrong choices. He said the choice made by any man today will either make or mar him. He enjoined every believer to check their choices, whether in the aspect of marriage, the choice place of worship, the ministry of your prophet and where to spend their eternity. He ended by leading the congregation to pray over the wrong choices they may have made. Truthfully, the month of January has been very impactful considering the mode of tutelage imbibed by the apostle. This can't be denied by believers because the results are obvious. In addition, to continue spreading the gospel to the ends of the earth, Apostle Johnson Suleiman is set to visit Gambia for generational impact on the 25th, which is today, through 26 January 2021. You can as well and always stay connected to Celebration TV and all our social media platforms. And the time for this broadcast is always 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. GMT +1 for a live transforming encounter as well.
Fresh fire, fresh fire.
Hunchback. Papa, the mother scream. Born with hunchback. Drop the child.
Papa, look at the child.
She's running. She's running.
Another gathering for a peculiar generation, guaranteed for an indelible symbol.
I saw Bernard.
Bernard is my son.
On his back, I saw Russia.
He's in Russia now.
Generational Impact Gambia 2021 with Apostle Johnson Suleiman.
You're watching us in Gambia. Believe God with us that miracles will happen. Healings will take place. There'll be restoration of all that the enemy has stolen as we come to Gambia.
25th and 26th January 2021, 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. GMT +1. Happening at Independence Stadium, Bella Arena, Bakau, the Gambia. For inquiries, please call Generational Impact Gambia 2021. It's your time.
Moving forward, Akeredolu presidency reaction widens ethnic division, says Falana. Human rights lawyer Mr. Femi Falayan, senior advocate of Nigeria, says the order by the Ondo State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu that herdsmen should leave forest reserves within 7 days is legal. In a statement, Falana said the order was in tandem with Section 47, subsection 1E and G of the Forestry Law of Ondo State, which provided that whoever in any forest reserve, except with the authority in writing of the prescribed officer, digs, cuts, turns, or cultivates the soil, or makes a farm or plantation, pastures cattle, or permit cattle to trespass or trespasses in any part of forest reserves in which trespass shall be prohibited by an order of the governor. The human rights lawyer said the presidency ought to have studied the law properly before issuing a statement to condemn Akeredolu. He, however, urged the state government to extend the deadline given to the herdsmen while also calling on the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeding Association of Nigeria to register with the state government. Falana stated that with respect to the brewing crisis in Ondo State, he calls on Governor Akeredolu to extend the 7-day ultimatum to allow all farmers and herders operating the forest reserve to register with the state government without any delay. He called on President Muhammadu Buhari to summon a Nigerian Police Council meeting to address the heightening insecurity in the country. In another development, we received 27.5 billion naira, not 38.4 billion naira from federal government, says Bayelsa. Bayelsa state government has claimed it received 27.5 billion naira out of the 38.4 billion naira which the federal government announced as refund to the state for some executed federal road projects. Governor Dwoye Diri, represented at the event by his technical advisor on revenue, treasury and accounts, Mr. Timi Praise Polo, stated this during the income and expenditure briefing for the month of November and December 2020 in Yanagwa. Bayelsa was among 5 affected states the Federal Executive Council had in June 2020 approved a refund of 148 billion naira which they spent on reconstruction of some federal roads in their jurisdictions. The breakdown of the fund had indicated that Bayelsa will get 38.4 billion naira, Rivers 78.953 billion naira, Cross River 18.394 billion naira, Ondo 7.822 billion naira, and Osun 2.468 billion naira. However, Diri, who was represented at the event by Sipolo, claimed that the state got 27.5 billion naira and not 38.4 billion naira. He explained that the federal government has structured the refund in such a manner that it would take the beneficiaries between 3 and 4 years to access VA funds. He said by the federal arrangement, states that could not wait for the period to elapse would receive a discounted refund. According to him, the 27.5 billion naira was therefore the discounted refund that accrued to the state government's coffers instead of the 38.4 billion naira. And quickly coming from around Africa, Libyan rivals agree to appoint heads of key government agencies. Representatives from rival Libyan camps said a candidacy process would open tomorrow for key institutional appointments after a new round of talks in Morocco on ending nearly a decade of conflicts. The process, set to run until February 2nd, aims to quickly fill several strategic postings added to facilitate collaborations with an interim executive body set to be elected next week in Geneva. Oil-rich Libya has been riven by civil war since a NATO-backed uprising that ousted long-time dictator Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. The United Nations recognized Government of the National Accord, GNA, is based in the capital, while a House of Representatives which does not recognize the Tripoli administration is based in the east. A fragile ceasefire between the two sides agreed in Geneva last October has largely held despite threats by Eastern military strongman Khalifa Haftar to resume fighting. The talks that opened Friday in Buznika, south of the Moroccan capital Rabat, bring together representatives from the Tobruk-based House of Representatives and the Tripoli-based High Court of State, which advises the GNA. The GNA had also said that the negotiations would center on appointments to the country's sovereign posts. Still coming from around Africa, Tunisians defy police to stage more anti-government rallies. Hundreds of demonstrators took to the streets of Tunisian cities to protest police repressions, corruption and poverty following several nights of unrest marked by clashes and arrests. The protests come as the North African nation struggles to stem the novel coronavirus pandemic, which has crippled the economy and threatened to overwhelm hospitals. Over 6,000 people have died from COVID-19 in Tunisia. The government on Saturday extended a nighttime curfew from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. and banned gatherings until February 14th. But protesters took to the streets in several parts of the country, including capital Tunis and the marginalized interior region of Kafsa, to demand the release of hundreds of young people detained during several nights of unrest since January 14. Much of the unrest has been in working-class neighborhoods where anger is boiling over soaring unemployment and a political class accused of having failed to deliver good governance, a decade after the 2011 revolution that toppled long-time dictator Zine al-Abidine Ben Ali. Economic misery exacerbated by novel coronavirus restrictions in a tourism-reliant nation have actually pushed growing numbers of Tunisians to try to leave the country. Tunisia's political leadership is divided, with Prime Minister Hichem Mecheche waiting for parliament to confirm a major cabinet reshuffle. We'll go on a short break. We'll come back. We're going to bring you updates from the United Kingdom. Let's see plans on the school reopening.
My name is Johnson Suleiman. I'm the senior pastor of Omega Fire Ministries. We are having a special Holy Ghost service.
Let someone shout hallelujah.
Are you a member of Omega Fire Ministries? Are you a son or daughter of the prophet? Are you a partner with the ministry? Please join me on the 14th of the month of February, 9 a.m. to celebrate our anniversary. And guess what? My father, Pastor E.A. Adeboye Dadejio, will be with us live, physically present, to bless us and be a blessing to everyone that will be connected.
In the mighty name of Jesus, you will rise. You will never be in bondage again. You're going to move from glory to glory, from power to power.
Even if you can watch online, there is nothing has been there physically to get the grace raw. Do your best to come. Connect with us online by Celebration TV, or if you live in Europe and America or around the world, Sky TV, channel 598. Join me February 14 as I receive my Father.
Art for International Worship Center, Omega Fire Ministries, Kilometer 132, Benino Kenya Abuja Expressway, Auchi, Edo State, Nigeria. All right, many thanks for joining us, and now updates from the United Kingdom. School reopening plan demanded by Tory Member of Parliament. Tory Member of Parliament asking the government to set out a road map for the reopening of schools in England amid growing concerns about the impact of closures on children's education. The chairman of the Education Select Committee, Robert Halfon, has asked for a plan to be laid out in the Commons. The government has said it's too soon to say when schools will reopen to all pupils, but it will not be until after February half-term at the earliest. Mr. Haffen said there was enormous uncertainty with reports that schools would not reopen before Easter. He called for the government to set out what the conditions need to be for pupils to return to schools. Schools in England have been closed to all but vulnerable pupils and children of key workers since the national lockdown began on the 5th of January. Pupils have been told they will be learning at home until at least half-term in mid-February. More updates from Mexico. Mexican President López Obrador tests positive for COVID-19. Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador has announced he has tested positive for COVID-19. The 67-year-old said that his symptoms was mild and that he was optimistic following the diagnosis. The development comes as Mexico grapples with an upsurge in infections with deaths nearing 150,000. Mr. López Obrador says he will continue working from home, including speaking to President Vladimir Putin about acquiring a Russian-made vaccine. It was announced earlier that a call between the two leaders would take place on today to discuss their bilateral relationship and the possible supply of Sputnik V jabs. The Mexican president said last year he would try and acquire 12 million doses of a Russian-made vaccine if it proved effective. Mexico has not yet approved a jab for use, but officials want to expand the country's vaccination program for the population of 128 million people amid delivery delays from Pfizer BioNTech. And quickly we'll go to business news. FG to pay 71 billion naira funding for 6 railway projects. The federal government is to partly fund 6 rail projects connecting virtually all regions of the country with a combined funding of 71.15 billion naira this year. Also, 15.1 billion naira will be spent on the development of safety and security critical projects, airport certification, runways construction, terminal building, among others in the aviation sector in 2021. The government stated that the 71.15 billion naira will serve as counterpart funding for railway projects, including the Lagos-Kano rail line, which is ongoing, Calabar-Lagos ongoing, and Ajaokuta-Itakpe-Alaja Warri, which was also described as an ongoing project. Others are the Port Harcourt-Maiduguri Railway, the new Kano-Katsina-Jibiya-Maradi line in Niger Republic, and the Abuja-Itakpe and Alaja Warri Port Harcourt Refinery Warri New Harbour. And the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, had explained that the Lagos-Kano line, which is ongoing, would be connected from Ibadan and to the Lagos-Ibadan Railway, would cost about $5.3 billion US. And still on business news, China takes new foreign investment top spot from US. China has overtaken the US as the world's top destination for new foreign direct investment, according to United Nations figures. New investments into America from overseas companies fell by almost half last year, leading to the loss of its #1 status. In contrast, United Nations figure shows direct investment into Chinese firms climbed 4%, putting it #1 globally. The top ranking shows China's growing influence on the world economic stage. China had $163 billion US, which is equivalent to 119 billion pounds in flows last year, compared to 134 billion US attracted by the United States, the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development said in its report. In 2019, the United States received $251 billion US in new foreign direct investment, while China received $140 billion US. While China may be #1 for new foreign investment, the United States still dominates when it comes to total foreign investments. This reflects the decades it has spent as the most attractive location for foreign businesses looking to expand overseas. But experts say the figures underline China's move towards the center of the global economy, which has long been dominated by the United States, the world's biggest economy. China, currently involved in a trade war with the United States, has been predicted to leapfrog it to the #1 position by 2028, according to the United Kingdom-based Center for Economics and Business Research. We'll go on short break. We'll come back. We'll bring you sport news. Please don't go anywhere.
Hunchback. Papa, the mother scream. Hold with hunchback. Drop the child. Papa, look at the child. She's running. She's running.
Another gathering for a peculiar generation, guaranteed for an indelible symbol.
I saw Bernard.
Bernard is my son.
On his back, I saw Russia.
He's in Russia now.
Generational Impact Gambia 2021 with Apostle Johnson Suleiman.
If you're watching us in Gambia, believe God with us that miracles will happen. Healings will take place. There'll be restoration of all that the enemy has stolen as we come to Gambia.
25th and 26th January 2021, 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. GMT+1. Happening at Independence Stadium, Bella Arena, Bakau, the Gambia. For inquiries, please call Generational Impact Gambia 2021. It's your time. Enter his presence and be overwhelmed. A command that triggers expectation.
She was pregnant for 8 years. She ran with a word, a prophetic declaration as Mama declared, and today the baby is here. This is one of the many things the Lord can do. Look at the baby that was held in the womb for 8 years, connecting to this grace. She's standing here with her evidence,
bringing souls to the kingdom. Get ready for Generational Impact with Dr. Lizzie Johnson Suleiman.
Power of God! Power of God! Latakata rapata!
At Ibienafe Secondary School Field, South Ibie, Edo State, Nigeria. Date 28 January 2021 at 4 p.m. GMT+1. For inquiries, please call +234 806 464 6180. You are next in line.
Fresh fire, fresh fire.
Hunchback. Papa, the mother scream. Hold with hunchback. Drop the child.
Papa, look at the child.
She's running. She's running.
Another gathering for a peculiar generation, guaranteed for an indelible symbol.
I saw Bernard.
Bernard is my son.
On his back, I saw Russia.
He's in Russia now.
Generational Impact Gambia 2021 with Apostle Johnson Suleiman.
You're watching us in Gambia. Believe God with us that miracles will happen. Healings will take place. There will be restoration of all that the enemy has stolen as we come to Gambia.
25th and 26th January 2021, 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. GMT+1. Happening at Independence Stadium, Bella Arena, Bakau, the Gambia. For inquiries, please call Generational Impact Gambia 2021. It's your time.
You welcome sports news. Nigeria's INT'L wins 60-meter and 200-meter races in Kansas. Mercy INT'L emerged winner in the 60-meter and 200-meter races at the All-Kansas Invite, where she represented her school, Cloud County Community College. The Nigerian took part in 3 of her school's live victory at the event and set one of the 2 national qualifying marks. INT'L ran a time of 7.74 seconds, a national qualifying time in the 60-meter preliminary stages ahead of her teammate Isila Akbub, 7.80 sec, and Fort Hayes Holman Lyrics, 7.81 seconds. She replicated her impressive form in the 200-meter, finishing with a time of 24.14 seconds ahead of Akbub, who came second in 25.07 seconds, while Senegal Trinity from Fort Scott County placed third in 25.12 seconds. INT'L also helped set a new school record in the 4x4 meter race relays with Leonie Biu, Isila Akbub, and Pamela Milano. In another sports news quickly, Southampton on football. Southampton dump holders Arsenal out of FA Cup. Southampton dumped FA Cup holders Arsenal out of the competition, winning 1-0 courtesy of a Gabriel own goal to set up a 5th round meeting with Wolves. The much-changed Gunners, who have won the competition a record 14 times, fell behind midway through the first half and could not find a way back. Rav Hassan Houti fielded a strong side of St. Mary's, with Danny Ings returning after a hamstring injury and a positive coronavirus test alongside former Arsenal forward Theo Walcott. And Mikel Arteta made 7 changes from their 3-0 Premier League win against Newcastle. Southampton, who had never previously beaten Arsenal in the FA Cup, were the brighter team in the first half in the winter sunshine in England's south coast. James Ward-Prowse rattled the crossbar from a swerving corner, and Shea Adams forced a fine save from Arsenal goalkeeper Ben Leno. Southampton got the reward the positive approach deserved in the 24th minute. Arteta threw on forward Alexander Lacazette to bolster his attack as Arsenal pinned Southampton back. Lacazette was inches away from getting on the end of a Tunisian cross by fellow substitute Bukayo Saka as the minutes ticked away by Arsenal, but Arsenal could not find an equalizer. The exit will be a bitter disappointment for Arsenal, who have won the FA Cup 4 times in the past 7 seasons, in sharp contrast to their toys in the Premier League. Arteta's side will return to Southampton for a league meeting on Tuesday, aiming to continue their fine recent run that has lifted them to 10th in the table. And we have come to the end of the news on Celebration Television News Desk, and in case you're just joining us, here's the news headline recap. Barriers to impact. For every great door, there is a great adversary, says Apostle Johnson Suleiman. Libyan rivals agree to appoint heads of key government agencies. Mexican President Lopez Obrador tests positive for COVID-19. China takes new foreign investment top sport from United States. Southampton dump holders Arsenal out of FA Cup. And quickly we have photo of the day. And you see somebody holding a ladder for some persons to pass through. You can as well interpret or send us your own interpretation on our social media platform. On Facebook, we have Celebration TV, Instagram, My Celebration TV, on Twitter, at My Celebration TV, and YouTube, Celebration TV. Your positive contribution to the wellness of society you find yourself or the organization you work defines your leadership mind. As an individual who knows what to do and do without expecting to be pushed has bagged his ways to success. Be it known today that everything we do, think, feel, and believe either has a positive or negative effect on humanity and our national well-being. Be a part of nation building today. Thank you once again for staying with us. I remain Nicholas Akosile Walter. Thank you. To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosun